Good morning, everyone. This is Supriya Tiwari from APPA Public School, welcoming you all to today's online classes. Yesterday, we discussed about tsunami. We discussed what is a tsunami, what are the causes for the tsunami, and which was the when was the tsunami effect to the parts of India and Asia. What was it called? Yes, and we also went through a few stories, a few facts. Let's not call it stories, a few facts about how people were affected, how people survived, and so on. So, moving on to the next part. Yes, we studied about Ignatius, then we studied about James Alma, the Alma Javed, and then we came to know about Javed, Meghana, how they survived. Some of them were able to survive, and some of them were not able to survive, and most of them lost their families and property. So now coming to the next part, that is the third part. Here there are picture of a boy sitting with his dog. A picture of a boy sitting with his dog is given in the textbook. And you are asked, yes, to describe that word. What can you see there in the picture? You have to describe it in words and phrases. So, for example, we can begin by saying that we can see a clear sky, blue sky. Then we can see a boy sitting on the box. The dog is there. All around him, loss of property can be seen, ruined huts, ruined houses. So, in the same way, you can go on describing the picture in your own words. The boy looks sad. Yes, the dog is keeping him company. So, now coming to the lesson, we learned that animals they have a sixth sense which can tell them about a upcoming disaster or an upcoming danger. So, before the giant waves slammed into the coast in India and Sri Lanka, wild and domestic animals seemed to know about what was about to happen. They fled to safety. According to eyewitnesses' accounts, elephants screamed and ran for higher grounds. Dogs refused to go outdoors. Flamingos abandoned their low lying breeding areas and the zoo animals rushed into their shelters and could not be enticed to come out. So, before the waves began hitting the coast of India and Sri Lanka, people say that animals felt the danger. Animals came to know about the danger. So, and they began to run into safety, run for their safety. The animal and elephants were screaming. So, eyewitness account. Eyewitness is someone who has seen the happenings with his or her own eyes. Someone who has seen the happenings with his or her eyes. Yes, eyewitness. Someone who has seen the happenings with his or her own eyes. So they people began to say that elephants were screaming aloud and the dogs who were inside they refused to come outside and flamingos abandon their low-lying breeding areas. So low-lying is they stay in the waters and among the weeds growing in the water. So they were not ready to be there. Yes. Breeding areas, which means their nesting places. Nesting places where they build their nests and lay their eggs. And the animals which were in the zoo, they could not be enticed to come out. Enticed. Enticed, which means that to attract, or tempt, by offering pleasures or advantages. You know, sometimes at home, when your mother or your elders or anyone wants to get something, some work done by you, and you don't want to do that work, they try to tempt you. They try to tell you, if you do this, then I'll give you a chocolate or I'll give you an extra hour to play, something which gives you happiness. So the animals, the zoo animals which were kept in the cage, they were not ready to come out of their shelters, protective shelters, when they came to know about the upcoming tsunami. Many people believe that animals possess a sixth sense and know when the earth is going to shake. Some experts believe that animals' more accurate hearing helps them to hear or feel the earth's vibration. They can sense an approaching disaster long before humans realize what is going on. So, here we have scientists and many people who believe that more, more than humans, animals have a very high sense of hearing. They can feel the vibrations of the earth long before humans can feel it. And this hearing helps them to sense, to make out that there is some danger which is going to come, approaching danger. And they feel all these senses long before the humans can realize. We cannot be sure whether animals have sixth sense or not, but the fact is that the giant waves that rolled through the Indian Ocean killed more than 15,000 people in the dozen countries, but not many animals have been reported dead. So here we cannot be sure whether it is due to the acute hearing, the sense, their sixth sense of the animals, which prevents them, which helps them. But according to the studies done, many people were killed. More than 1,50,000 people were killed around the dozen countries where tsunami was hit. But animals had survived. Along India's Kadaloor coast, where thousands of people perished, buffaloes, goats, and dogs were found unharmed. The Yala National Park in Sri Lanka is home to a variety of animals, including elephants, leopards, and 130 species of birds. 60 visitors were washed away from the Patangala beach inside the park, but no animal carcasses were found except for two water buffaloes. So here people are saying that according to the studies, when the tsunami hit the coastal areas, many animals were found alive. The goats, buffaloes, and the dogs were found without any harm to them. And so, around 60 visitors were washed away, swept away with the waves, but no animal were found dead. Carcasses means the dead body of animals. Dead bodies of animals. A Sri Lankan gentleman who lives on the coast near Gale said that his two dogs would not go out for their daily runs on the beach. They are usually excited to go on this outing, he said. But on that day, they refused to go and most probably saved his life. So, a gentleman who lives near the coastal areas in Sri Lanka, he has given a statement saying that his dogs, usually were very excited, very much eager to go out for the walks. But on that day, when the tsunami hit the area, they were not ready to move out of their shelters, of their canals. And so it so happened that because they refused to move out, even he did not go out, and probably he was in a safer place and he was saved. So, with this part, we come to the end of this lesson. So, yes, here I have a few words. If you have, you can later on take it down. Forewarn, chaos, and resort, swept away. Here I have written four words. Four words I have written: forewarn, chaos, resort, and swept away. Now, there is a one small work which you students have to do. That is, you have to use a dictionary, find out the words of these, find out the meanings of these words, and make a note of it in your homework book. So, now we have learned what is a tsunami. We have learned how it affected the people and facts about how people had survived it. Now, what is a tsunami? It's a natural calamity which causes huge destructions and loss of life and property. So, after going through all this, what is the moral that we learn from this lesson, from this fact? A couple of facts involving lot of people and all the facts. So, what is the lesson that we learn from moral we learn from this lesson? It is that we should realize the importance of doing whatever is possible, whatever is possible by us, we have to do it, and try to save human and animal life. Yes, we have to participate, we have to try whatever is possible by us to save the human life as well as the animal life and wildlife environment around us. Then we have to try and participate in relief work and to understand the concept of disaster management. Yes, we have to understand how we can work during the disasters, how we can manage to save people and property life, and we should show courage, care, compassion for others who are going through a rough time, a bad times, who have gone through a lot of bad times and they are trying to survive. We should show care and compassion and try to help them. Many people had lost their houses, so they were needed to be rehabilitated. That is, they had to be given new houses, new jobs, new works, so that they could continue with their work, they could continue with their life. So we also should try to observe things around us. Yes, observe the animals. We have animals around us. We have to try to observe the animal behavior, how they behave during the normal time, how they behave during the times when we are trying to face disasters. So now once let's have a recap about all what we have learned. Yes, we have learned what is a tsunami. We have learned how tsunami is caused. Yes, we have gone through about the facts, little facts which give us a knowledge about what the people went through, how people survived, and how some people lost everything. So, and how tsunami is caused. Then we have the survival stories of Tilly Smith. Yes. So, yes. Now, the important characters here, we can say, who are the important characters here? We have we have Ignatius, then we have Sanjeev, then we have Meghna, then we have Almas, then we have Tilly. Yes, yes. Now, first we have Ignatius. Who is he? He is a cooperative society manager. Then we have Sanjeev, who is a policeman. We have Meghna, who is a 13-year-old girl. Then we have Almas Javed, 10-year-old, whose family gets swept away. Then we have Tilly Smith, who, uh, with her knowledge of tsunami, was able to save herself, her family, and all the people who were around the on the beach along with them. Yes, now I have given you a small assignment, that is using the dictionary you have to find out the meanings of these four words. Yes, and then the main characters of this lesson. Now, like I told you, what are the terrible effects of a tsunami? What are the terrible effects of tsunami? Yes, here the terrible effects of a tsunami. I hope everyone can see this. It is first is the ruthless destruction. Next, we have the economic loss. Next, the casualties, diseases, and environmental degradation. Yes. So here we come to know that whenever there is a natural calamity, it may be the droughts, it may be a volcanic disruption, it may be a landslide, it may be a tsunami. Natural calamities affect each and every person in the area where the natural calamity hits it. So, then first, the loss of life. Next, loss of property. It may be not belonging to one person or two persons. Natural loss of property is the whole area surrounding where the natural calamity has occurred. Then we have uh, economic loss. Lot of economic loss takes place when these destructions take place. Everything is lost, and people have to pull in to be rehabilitated. They need to be helped to again reorganize themselves, start from the beginning and take care of themselves. Next, casualties, like we said, we discussed loss of life, loss of people. Sometimes they lose their mental stability, they become physically drained out, they become handicapped, they lose they start losing the working of some of their organs, etc. And due to this, lot of diseases are spread. Diseases, why are diseases spread here? Because a lot of pollution is there. Yes, it cannot be cleaned in 1 day or 2 days, so we have lot of diseases. And it also causes the environment around us, it affects the environment around us. Now I have one more work which has to be done by you. Yes, effect and effect. These are the two words, and this work has to be done by the students, and you have to find out what is the difference between the word effect and the word effect. Yes, we'll be asking you the words in your FCC classes. We'll be asking you the meanings also in the FCC class in the evening session. You're going to answer the meanings, answer to the words. You have 4 words were given to you, and you have to find the meanings, and has to be written in your homework book along with this. Even this has to be written in your homework book. So today we have completed our tsunami lesson. We have gone through all the important points regarding the lesson. So before I end this session, just children, a small reminder that please attend all the classes, pay attention to the teaching going on, and complete all your notes. And once again, a small reminder to remind you that on 2nd and 3rd of August, you are supposed to submit your completed classworks, homeworks, worksheets for correction. Yes, that's all for today. Let's end the session. Goodbye. Take care. Have a nice day.